This episode of World Talk contains mature themes for mature audiences only. The opinions expressed by the guest and host are our own and don't represent any business or organization. I'm ready. Okay, you want to count me in? All right.
3. Remember that count.
Yeah.
3.
Hello and welcome to World Talk, a show where we talk about anything and all things world related. Today I am joined by 3 Caymanian international models. We're going to start on my right here with Mili, and then we have Shannon and Leilani. Welcome to World Talk.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So I start the show off every way the same, which is tell us where you're from and describe it in 3 words. So we'll start with you, Mili.
Okay, so I am from the Cayman Islands, and the 3 words I would describe are vibrant, family, and culture.
Nice.
Hi, I'm from Cayman, and the 3 words I would use to describe myself would be resilient, strong, and beautiful, of course.
Nice. Leilani.
Hi, my name is Leilani, and I am originally from the Cayman Islands. The way I would describe is myself.
Is it myself or the country?
The country.
The country.
Oh,
It's all right. But we can circle back.
Okay. I would say very family oriented, small, unique in some areas, and very beautiful.
It is. Well, since Shannon, you said some nice words about yourself, do you guys want to say some words about yourselves?
Okay, I would use kind, confident, and resilient.
Nice.
I think I would go for strong, beautiful, and resilience as well.
Nice. And Shan, what nice words do you have to say about the Cayman Islands? How would you describe it?
The Cayman Islands is a very, very beautiful island. The people here are very kind and an unforgettable place.
It really is. It really is. So you guys are international models. You've walked locally. We all did the Cayman in Style Fashion Week together in April. That was a great time. But not only did you guys walk locally, you guys definitely walked in New York and London.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, let's start in the beginning. What got you into modeling? Leilani, we'll start with you.
Okay, so I first started my modeling career in 2016, where I did a show at National Gallery called Allure. I then kind of stepped out of my comfort zone. They started doing more local shows. So one of the prime persons that kind of got me into runway was Izzy B Design. So I kind of collaborated with her, and she did a lot of charity shows. And I also modeled a lot of her clothing line. And then fast forward to COVID, a lot of that was on pause due to the, pandemic and everything. So then I applied there on after to CIFWK. And then from there on, I've just been doing fashion shows and also photography just locally. And now, thanks to Norma, I am now on an international basis. So she has kind of helped me reach that international level into my modeling. So yeah.
That's very cool. Shannon, what got you into modeling?
Salida, actually.
Salida Ebanks.
Yeah, Salida Ebanks. She's actually a real role model of mine. It was through the Bows and Stiletto shows that Miss Palm, the director of Miss World, hosted a while ago. After the show, it went really well. I'm not gonna lie. That was my first time walking in 6-inch heels, and let me tell you, I killed it. I was scared. I thought I was gonna trip out, but I actually did good. And after the show, Sally was like, "Hey, you did really amazing. You like a supermodel. You look like a star." And I was like so excited. I was like, okay. And then after a while, we kept in contact, and she kept encouraging me to, take my modeling more seriously, apply to agencies, build my portfolio. So I was like, okay, I feel more comfortable building my portfolio first. And that's when I met Miss Norma, a very lovely lady, an amazing designer at that as well. And through her, I was able to walk at the Cayman Islands in Style Fashion Week a year ago. And after that, she brought me internationally through London and New York. And I'm very, very grateful. And I'm looking forward to continue to working with her.
Nice. How about you, Mili? What got you into modeling?
That's a really good question. Modeling has always been a dream of mine ever since I was young, but it's always something in the back of your head, and you're like, is this dream ever going to turn into reality? Because, you're always like, maybe I should just go to college, focus on school, things like that. But after pageantry, well, pageantry already has modeling in itself above many things. But I reached out to Miss Norma myself because I was like, I'm going to take the approach on something and follow my dreams on it. So I approached Miss Norma and I was like, hi, Miss Norma, modeling has always been my dream. And from there, we went like a week after to New York, and that was my first ever runway show. And
Wow.
yes, yeah.
Nice. Well, let's talk about runway. So, Leilani, what was your first runway show?
So my first runway show was actually at the National Gallery.
Oh,
I
yes, you had
was
mentioned. Yeah.
16 years old.
Oh, 16. What inspired you? Were you scouted or did you sign up?
So my mom, she saw potential in me from the start. And everyone growing up was like, oh my gosh, she's so tall. She should be a model. She should play basketball. And I wasn't really interested in sports like that. So she kind of was the one that pushed me out of my comfort zone. So she was like, I didn't even own heels for the casting call. And I wore one of her heels and they were so small. But as soon as like the judges saw me, they were like, yeah, like she got it. She just has to practice on her walk, because it was my first time walking in heels, So that's when I did my first ever runway show. And yeah, that's kind of how it kind of like started. And then I just kind of started to, I guess, improve on my walk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nice. So you were saying that you blew the judges away. They saw you and were like, "This is the star."
Yes, they were like, she definitely has potential. So I got scouted for like that show.
Tell us, what was that like being on the runway? Your first walk through, the lights are low.
Yeah, it was terrifying. But it was like the crowd was just dark.
Yeah.
So all I was focused on was just the camera in front, the lights, and that was the only thing that was like easing my nerves. I also was talking to a lot of the models because they were really experienced compared to me. So I was kind of like asking them questions like, do you guys have any tips? Like, what do you think I should do? And I kind of was just like backstage trying to like, get myself together and stuff like that.
Nice. What about that experience made you continue wanting to be a runway model?
I think I guess my mom continuing to tell me like, you have to be more confident in yourself. And also other people telling me like, you like are beautiful and stuff like that, because even growing up, like I've always struggled like with my self-esteem. Like I thought like my legs were so long, like I'm so tall, because everyone used to say like she's like a giant, because like growing up in high school. So I think just learning that is my like, my strong suit, that's my power, like I have to use it.
Yeah, you turned your weakness into a
my
strength.
Weakness into a strength, and now I'm like literally excelling because of all of those things that I was insecure about. So
that's very cool. That's inspiring too.
I know, right?
Yeah. So Shannon, what was your first modeling experience, first runway experience like? You said you joined the Stilettos show, but did you want to join that show or were you scouted?
So how this originally started, I don't know if you guys heard of Girl Power.
Yeah.
No.
Girl Power Camp.
Okay, so I believe Miss Palm as well is also the director of that. And what's her name? Oh God, forgive me. And someone else, I can't remember her name right now, but God forgive me. So we were in Girl Power, and I believe Miss Palm said, we were gonna have a show. Selita was coming down. She was gonna do like a show. I don't know if you guys heard of the Cayman, this Secrets in Paradise show.
Yeah.
So that was what they were going to make. So she got us together one afternoon, pile of girls, and then she surprised us with Selita. She popped in, and then she was like, hey, we're going to do a fashion show. She was like getting us all excited. We were practicing. Cameras were all around. I was so nervous. I was just like, this is practice. We have cameras? Like, what's going on? But anyways, so that's how I got involved. Initially, I wasn't really interested, but then because it was an opportunity and she needed people to like show the clothes and model, I was like, of course, why not? I had no experience, but Selita, I love Selita. She was so encouraging, so I was just like, let's do it. turned out to be a good thing. So
Were you nervous?
if I was nervous, I was so nervous. Listen, Phil, when I first stepped out on that, it wasn't even much of a runway. It was just more like a around the fountain type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, I was really, really nervous because like, how would you say it? There was like cracks or holes within the fountain. So it's like walking in high heels made me even more nervous because it was just like, there's a pile of people out here. There's cameras. What if I trip out? What if I fall? I've never walked in like heels like that before. So it was pretty nerve wracking for me. But when I stepped out, as Leilani said, it's like the lights and the music and then everyone cheering you. It's just like, yeah, I got this. Let's do this. And I was just going and it was so exciting. I really, really, really loved that night.
And that's what inspired you to keep
That's
going.
exactly what inspired me. Yep.
It's very cool. What about you, Millie? What was your first runway experience like?
So my first runway experience was in New York, which is an extremely big deal that I'm grateful for. But
That was your first one.
yeah,
Wow.
New York. But thank God I already had practicing with my walk. And just like Lani, I relate to you a lot because I just started wearing heels like 2 years ago. I'm the tallest person in my family. So I was like, I'm never going to wear heels. Like I always put heels aside because I'm like, I'm too tall for this. So New York, that was my first time doing castings for other designers as well. So we show up and we see about 10 designers and then we try on their designs and then they choose if they want us or not. So yes, and walking New York was so nerve-wracking. And I was like, I did not know what to expect. So this was my first ever runway show. But I'm happy it went well. And seeing all those people in the audience and all those cameras, like at the end of the runway, you're like, okay, time to like do this. But it was a really good experience and I'm grateful for that.
Were you not intimidated? Because it is like New York,
Yeah.
you know, the Big Apple.
I definitely was, but there was something about it that I felt comfortable. Like maybe it was the people I was around. Like definitely having these girls next to me in New York made it 10 times better. And all the designers too. And we had another Caymanian model, Lana. And she was very comforting, like, you know, helping me out there. So yeah, it wasn't that nerve-wracking, but yeah.
Wait, was In Style Fashion Week after you guys came back from New York?
Yeah.
So we did, because we did New York in February. And
Right.
InStyle was in
April.
Yeah.
But it was actually Millie's first runway show, so she then did InStyle after.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's crazy though. Yeah. I'm extremely grateful that New York was my first ever runway.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing In Style Fashion Week with you guys. Yeah, for me, I was sweating bullets behind stage. Yeah, me and all the dudes, we were getting jacked up doing push-ups just to like get our breathing right. But I was counting all the people in front of me, like, okay, he was out there for 30 seconds. It's just 30 seconds. It's just
So
there.
quick once you're there.
Yeah,
We did so good though.
but right before, oh my goodness, I was an
understand.
emotional wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it. It was a fun show. I look forward to the next
was.
one.
All the designs were so beautiful there. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't pick a favorite designer. It was
I think after
really
like the first time or second time you come out, then it's kind of just, it
Yeah.
feels a little
It gets
better.
easier,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because in
Get that
rehearsal,
confidence up.
exactly in rehearsals though, I gotta say, like Alvin Page, like I was definitely out of my depth signing up for that show. I don't even know what I was thinking, but he was so good,
Yeah.
especially
He is.
helping.
He's a great coach.
He is.
He's amazing, yeah.
But even like walking alongside you guys, it was inspiring as well. It gave me that confidence because we've all worked together,
Yeah.
or you know, we all know each other, and it was a very encouraging
Yeah.
moment. But I saw you, Shannon. You were doing like you were walking, and then you would do like this 360. And, yeah, I was
She
like,
has the
dang.
best
She
turn
does.
ever.
She
Best turn.
does.
She was actually helping me master my turn.
Shannon knows her walk.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I don't know. I just like to do turns. It's just so elegant. I like
Yeah.
turns.
No, I don't know. It works for you. You got good style on the runway.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I got to work on my posture. Yeah. No, I think the first couple of shows I did, I was comfortable, but the last designer, I don't know. They were like at the last minute, they were like, yo, you got to dance. Like at the last minute. And that just,
I think I remember that designer.
yeah, it just threw me off completely. Because it's like, yo, we had like rehearsals. No one said
I
dance.
think I did a little thing at the end.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So designers going ahead, going forward, let your model know what you want first,
Yeah.
not right before. Don't tell the stage manager like 10 seconds before they go.
But that's
on.
the thing, though,
Yeah.
with modeling.
Yeah.
Always expect the unexpected. I
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
tell people have a thick skin
Mm-hmm.
and always
Ooh.
expect to either lose your designer and someone else get it, or to get additional. There's
like
always
cutthroat
good
industry.
and there's always terrible bad. Trust me, you have to have like
Thick skin.
and be ready at all times.
Yep.
Trust me.
Did you learn these skills in New York? Or
I think
Yeah.
so, you know, because I feel locally, because we are small,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like modeling here isn't as, I guess,
Intense.
like
I guess.
broad and intense. I don't know if that
it's not like a
makes sense.
career here.
Yeah, it's
like
not
there
like a
it's
career.
real.
Yeah.
You know, you
It's
can pay
real, yeah.
you can pay your
Exactly.
bills off
So-
of that. But here it's just like, oh, it's just something we enjoy doing.
And you're
You know,
comfortable. It's home.
Yeah.
so-
exactly. More of a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like? I mean, you said all those things like you got to have thick skin, you got to be ready. Tell us about that. How'd you find that out?
Okay. The thick skin part goes where, for me, I'm short. Obviously, compared to these two girls, I'm very short. I'm like 5'6", and originally, I'm not even supposed to be like being picked by designers. It's actually because of Miss Norma pushing me to be picked by designers. But when she shows them how I walk and how I deal with the garment, that's what makes me stand out compared to other models who are my like height. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, sometimes it depends on what the designer is looking for. Sometimes they're looking for a specific look, a specific skin tone, a specific size. And sometimes you might see an outfit, you're like, oh my gosh, I want that outfit. No, you don't, because they already have that for someone who's,
Yeah.
let's say, skinnier,
Yeah.
taller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that kind of gave me an idea of just like, okay, it's not all the time you will get what you want.
Yeah.
It's meant for somebody else, or you could get what you want and somebody else get it. Just always make sure you don't take it personal. Just
Yeah.
always have a thick skin and always be ready, because a model could be like, okay, I'm sick, or, you know, I can't do this anymore, or I can't do this
Yeah.
outfit, or they're already on the runway.
Yeah.
And they need someone to do this right now. Get changed. Let's go. What if
I
you
have a
just
story.
came off the runway? You have to change within 30 seconds,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
let's get it. Even if you don't have an earring, you have one shoe. It don't matter. You have to
get out
just
there.
go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, just always expect the unexpected. You know what I mean? It's lovely people behind the stage. The designers are so talented. So yeah.
One thing I have to say though, because people just see you and they're like, oh, like I can be a model too. Like, you know, that's an easy job. It's just going down the runway, pretty face.
It is not. That's not.
It's
You
more
have to
to
have
it.
a lot of resilience.
Yep,
You
a
can't
lot.
take things personal.
The
And a lot of
practicing.
practice too.
Yeah.
Intense practicing, ensuring you're like walking, because all designers want different walks. One designer
They do.
wants you to walk sassy, the other one intense.
Strong, fast.
You know, so
yeah.
it's just kind of getting to know the designer before you get on stage is key as well, and then practicing different walks too behind the scenes,
Exactly.
especially in heels, because a lot of the designers, they ask for even more taller heels than the standard high heel.
For someone who doesn't wear high heels, what is a normal heel compared to the heel size that designers
4
want you to wear?
inches.
4 or 5.
This is a normal
Yeah,
heel.
4
This is
inches.
the inch
Yeah.
designers want. So designers want 6 inches, and then we usually wear like I would say
4 or 5.
4, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to model, you definitely have to have confidence in yourself. Like, you have
Most
to know
definitely.
who you are. You cannot be insecure. You have
Or
to
compare
be,
yourself.
Or
Yep.
compare
Yep.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And modeling is very cutthroat. A lot of people don't see all the hard work behind the scenes and how it really is. They get to see the pretty part of it when you're out on stage with the pretty clothes, but nobody gets to see backstage, like, and what it took to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in London, like, I'm happy, like, we have each other when we do travel internationally, because that's a very rare. A lot of models are just there by themselves, like,
Yeah.
out to the
so
wolves.
true.
But at least with us three, we have, like, we're looking out for each other. And yeah, so there's a lot of things, like, designers want people who are very skinny, very tall, look a certain way for this certain look. So you just have to really be confident in yourself, and nothing can tear me down. If this isn't for you, it's not for you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So let's talk about New York, because that was it seems like a very cool. Was that your first time walking internationally?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what was that? What was that like for you? Let's So did Miss Norma call you and say, "Hey,
I'm trying
going to New York
remember.
looking for girls," or how did that work?
So I met her through CIFWK. And she reached out to me. She was like, "Hey, I'm going to New York. Are you interested?" And then at the time, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of last minute, you know. Like, how does it work? You know, because I've seen her like take other models as well to like New York and those places." So I was like, "I'm interested." I'm like, "Tell me more about it." And then the whole time, I'm like, should I go, you know, and stuff like that. So I was like asking, and then I was like, you know what? We only live once. So I just bought my ticket and we went.
Nice, just like that.
Just like
Yeah.
that.
Very cool.
And I didn't regret it. It was a
I'm so
really good
happy.
experience.
I was like,
It was.
I was thinking the same. I was like, should I go? Should I not? And I was like, I'm gonna go with my gut instinct and just go. Yeah.
For me, originally I was supposed to go the year before to New York, actually with a different group. But I'm actually thanking God right now that I waited until that year to go with these beautiful ladies. I'm actually really grateful that I waited because we bonded and we traveled together ever since, and that's the best experience. As Millie said, it's not really nice going there by yourself. You know what I
Right.
mean, like we're from a small island going to like a bigger environment. You know what I mean? It's nice to have someone that you know. I mean, Miss Norma's always there, but she's a busy person as well. You know what I mean? She's also a designer, so she has her own line and models to deal with as well. So it was really nice. Going to New York was really exciting for me. I've always wanted to go as a child anyway, so that was like a dream, definitely a dream come true for me.
Was it a big like cherry on the top moment to see yourself on Times Square?
Listen, Phil, if I could have cried anymore, I would. Trust me when I say I was just so grateful. It was unexpected, but I guess I prayed for it and I got more than I asked for. So it was surreal. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a good thing. I'm really grateful. It was.
You guys got a story about being on Times Square? Like, did you guys know? Were you brought there as like a surprise? Like, hey, we're just gonna hang out here, and oh look, that's you. How'd it go down?
No. I actually we left before it was on the
The
billboard. It was
Mm-hmm.
actually a friend, a model, Amber, who's also a model coordinator in the production that we travel with. So she sent me the video of me being on the billboard. It would have been good if I was there, but the time they were posting it was literally the
We were
day
on our
we
flight.
left. Literally, so it was just like
We couldn't see it in person, which sucks.
it would have
but-
been good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got it. Did you see like the text message when you landed? Like, yo, congratulations, you're on Times Square.
It was excitement.
That's
It
so
was.
cool.
Yeah.
So tell us about New York. Was it New York Fashion Week? What was happening in New York?
It was New York Fashion Week.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was just a lot of models. Like where we were backstage, we saw models from all over the world too. Like that looked so unique and tall. So just getting to talk to them too was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I have a funny story about New York since it was like all of our first times there. We were just walking through Times Square and we underestimated how much you have to walk in New York. So as models, after the show, I believe this was, right?
It was, yeah, I think it was after the show.
We're wearing our 6-inch heels all over New York.
And meaning to tell you, this is winter,
Dying.
by the way. It's freezing.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
February.
Freezing cold.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
toes are freezing.
Yeah.
We're wearing 6-inch heels. So and Miss Norma was like, you guys have
Ladies.
to learn the hard way. She didn't
Yeah,
tell us.
literally.
She was like, I was going to
Literally.
tell y'all, but I saw
She
you and
wanted
I
us to
was like,
feel.
y'all gonna feel it.
So we walked a few miles in 6-inch heels with our
We were
freezing
crying.
cold
Just-
toes.
it was-
So that's just another
We
little
were like
funny
trying
story.
to get back to the hotel and we were just all leaning on each other. Like, yeah, we had to, I think we stopped at Taco Bell. Was it Taco Bell?
Yeah, it was
I
Taco
I think it
Bell.
was
Yeah,
Taco Bell. We had to
yeah.
like warm up in there because we were like,
It
our
was
toes were
freezing.
freezing. But we did get some good pics with a photographer that
Yeah.
just randomly took pictures of us.
What do you mean
And we
randomly?
ended up posting
We just,
them.
it's
yeah.
like, I don't
You
know
were just
what it
walking
is.
down
He
the
just
street?
walking,
Yeah.
and he was
He
like,
just pops in front of us and
Snap,
like,
snap. No, that's a lie. He actually saw us stand up talking, and he just
Yeah.
snapped us. I was
Snapped a
just like,
picture.
he
But
comes
that's
in,
how
he's
they
like,
sell.
See this?
Yeah, so that's how they sell photos there. There's like
Yeah.
a bunch of photographers
Yeah.
and they're like, look. And then you're like, do you want it? Do you want more pictures? And then that's when they start
That's how they
selling.
make their business
Ah.
there. And they made a few
Smart.
bucks out of us.
Honestly, they
Yeah.
bought us because those pictures had looked so good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
and we were wearing heels. And no one was like, I'm pretty sure people on Instagram didn't know that we were freezing to death.
No,
no, they could not
No,
tell.
they did not.
They could not tell. It's another thing too. You could be in dying pain, but
when it comes to fashion
And
time.
modeling, you cannot
Yeah.
show
Is
it.
that the
Yeah.
resilience in the freezing cold?
Yeah.
Because I mean, even so, we actually did a photo shoot in Norma
Mm-hmm.
in New York,
Yeah.
and we were modeling like a summer clothes, right? It was like summer like
Summer-
dresses
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So it
Sundresses
wasn't
and
really
things,
anything
yeah.
thick that would keep you
No,
warm
It was.
In February.
in February. In different locations throughout New
Walking
York.
down the train, the museums, modeling.
with our little suitcases, and we had to like change right on the spot.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
had to change
Yeah,
right
it was
inside of the
intense.
museum.
And the photographer
Yes.
was like, "Okay, guys, take a break. We had to put our coats on and just get warm, and then back
Yeah.
again." So it's like you saw the videos and the pictures of us in New
Looked
York
really
in
nice.
the photo shoot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we were freezing. Like,
Yeah, we were
literally
freezing. Had to
Trust
change in the
me.
streets. Had to walk around with our big suitcases and 6-inch heels all over New York. Yes,
It was
Yeah.
fun though.
But it was a fun
really
experience.
Yeah,
It was
That's
fun.
that's so cool that you get to be like in New York and like walk down roads that you see in like TV shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, we're actually gonna
Exactly.
pose here and take photos.
And people were like staring at us, and they were like taking pictures and hyping us
They were
up. So
actually
we were like,
impressed. I was just
they were
like,
impressed.
Wow,
I was like,
you're
isn't
so
this the
encouraging."
usual?
Yeah. I was just like, wow, is this what it's like to be in like overseas and like be appreciated for what you're trying to do? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
it was. Yeah,
So, how many different designers did you walk for in New York?
New York.
New York.
I think 2 or 3 in New York.
Yeah. I think 4. I think all of us models for Norma, of course.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
She
think
was
about
really
4,
pushing for
yeah.
us.
Yeah. Before we get into the other designers, what was that like to walk for Miss Norma, a Caymanian designer, in the New York Fashion Week as Caymanian models? I think that's a big sign of patriotism.
I felt really like proud
Yeah.
to be there, you know, and just how Norma is. Like, she's the type of person to really push us as well as
Always,
Caymanian models.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm really appreciative of that. Yeah, and also people asking us like, "Where are you from?" You know, and us just saying we're
Yeah.
from the Cayman Islands,
And
they're like,
asking me if my hair real.
"Ooh."
That's
But
ridiculous.
yeah, saying that
It's
in
so
London,
funny.
a lot of the models
They
were
have like the weirdest questions.
yeah. And saying that in London, like all of the models from London were so shocked. They were like, "You guys traveled such a long way to model here from Cayman Islands." I was like, "Yeah, you guys should come." But they were very shocked that we were from Cayman. Yeah.
Huh.
And I remember too, like for Miss Norma's line, I did end up closing the show. I don't know if you remember. It's that red picture with like
Oh,
the
yes.
feathers coming down. Let me tell you something. When I step out on that runway, I made a mistake and I went go pose, right? I went to walk off. You know, Shannon tripped up, right?
Shannon tripped.
Shannon tripped. Listen, I wanted to cry, but because as a model, you learn that whether you trip up, whether you lose a shoe, no matter what happens on the runway, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
And trust me, when I tripped, I was like, "Oh God, bless me!" And then I had to like kick the feathers forward just to get to be able to like step forward, and I just kept going. I was just like, breathe, and I just.
That's that
like, nothing
resiliency.
happened. I'm telling you, I was so afraid I was gonna fall on my face, but thank God I didn't. I actually really tripped. Like, it was actually obvious. I don't know if I can find the video, but it was an experience.
But you survived it.
Yeah.
And here you
But I
are.
learned as well. So I've never tripped up on a runway before, but now I know what not to do.
No.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, I had a mishap as well in New York. So
Yeah?
I was walking for Lazaro Sanchez, and he had me in this like long, dress. It kind of looked like
Beautiful
an
gown.
angel. It was
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah,
honestly.
beautiful, yeah.
And he wanted me and this other lady to kind of like pose, like both of us pose at the ends, but we didn't really calculate how long the walk from backstage was going to be. So I literally had, as soon as I got off the runway, I had to run quick time and literally just sprint on the runway and make it look smooth. I was freaking out the whole time. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I hope this looks good." But in the end, it looked good. So I was like, "Okay, thank God." But I was freaking out because just imagine you just came off the runway and you just literally have to run and come back on.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nervous.
I think I missed the designer doing that as well. I was so upset because like my third designer in New York, she wanted us to take photos. And
Why do you say it in quotations?
because I
Takes
should
an
have
hour.
known better. It was just like, because it was a lot of people and backstage, it gets kind of cramped. It's a lot of models. Getty, everybody wants to get a picture. So, I was like, okay, fine. It's the designer. She wants a picture. Let me get a picture. By the time I go to my last designer, everybody's on the runway. My piece is the only piece on the rack. I was like, everybody else is gone and I miss my designer. And I loved her piece. And I was just like, I was just crying. I was so upset. But then
Dang.
you learn that, timing, like you have less than a minute, maybe even 30 seconds to just change to your next designer. You don't have time for photos unless it's your last designer, you know what I mean? Or if it's like you have one design, then you have like 30 minutes gap to like do whatever you want to do. But in that time, it was like a back to back for me. And I think that's where I messed up.
That's
Yeah, I
definitely
learned,
the
most
worst,
definitely.
most anxiety thing with modeling. Those fast changes.
Timing, yeah.
Having
Too
back-to-back
much.
designers.
Yeah, like in London, I was modeling for someone, and then I had to model for the next person, and they were coming right after. They had to bring the clothes, and I had to change right behind the stage, like behind the actual runway.
It's scary.
So it's just things like that you have to really like. It's almost like a talent you have to like change as quick as
Yeah, and
quick
be
as you
confident
can.
in your body as well,
Yeah.
because there's most
And-
times you're gonna be half,
right.
you know what I
and
mean?
plus
Half
change
naked, so-
heels. You
Yep.
have to change heels and clothes
Yeah,
and hair
everything.
sometimes, all in under like 5 seconds. It's a lot.
Everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So coming out of New York, you're thrown into the big New York Fashion Week. You survive, and I think it's so cool that you guys did that. What was it like coming then to do Cayman Islands In Style Fashion Week?
You mean the second time around?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you had done it the year prior. I'm talking about the one this year that I did with you guys.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
It felt a little more comforting than, I guess,
Yeah, I
international
felt because we did it already.
More familiar.
It was just like,
More familiar.
you're just like, let's just do this. Let's just get
Yeah.
this over
It's
with.
like a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like though was that the stage was way like smaller than it was the year before. That was like my only thing that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was really good.
This year had like one of my favorite looks ever, especially Sai Sanoki.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
love
she
her.
had some
Yeah.
nice
I loved
pieces.
Her
Yeah,
designs are really good.
The big
And
hat.
what's that guy's name? He always makes the pretty dresses.
Yuzuri.
Yuzuri? Yeah,
The
he was like my
Jamaican
fave.
designer.
Mhm.
It's all beautiful gowns. Yeah. So you really have to have a talent too, because I remember a skirt being too tight and I couldn't basically walk in it. So I had to kind of, you have to like
Kick forward.
kick your walk.
That's how I felt with a blue dress he had me in. So it was a little tight on the knees. And, the whole time I'm like, am I even walking good? And when I look back at the video, I'm like, okay, I actually did a decent job, but I was walking really slow. That's the only thing. But it was kind of scary.
It was an amazing
In heels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming from New York, working with all these international designers, was it cool to then work with international designers in Cayman?
Yes, because some of them were new. Some of them we never met before. So and they were like big time designers. It wasn't just just some random designer. They were actually like big brands.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, just getting to know them and having the honor to even walk for them, And some of them even published us on their Instagram. So it was really good exposure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's cool. Let's talk about the relationship between designer and model. How does that work? Do you find designers that you're interested in and say, hey, I want to walk for you, or do they pick you? How does that work?
Both ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Both.
So initially, I don't know if you know what a comp card is.
I don't.
I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it, Phil.
you did the
were
show.
supposed to give your comp card when you did the show in April. Did you not?
That was my comp card.
So basically, a comp card, it has 4 or 5 photos of you showing your face, your shape, whatever good photos of you, so the designer can see what you would look like in their design. You also have your height, your age, your contact information, your measurements, obviously. So Miss Norma takes that from us and she hands it to the production team, then hands it to the designers, and then they choose from each card who they want, what size, because remember, each designer make certain size items for certain size models that they envision. It's not like they see us and they be like, okay, I'm gonna make a dress for her, I'm gonna make a dress for her. It's not like they're already made, so they choose whichever comp card is within that measurement, you know what I mean? So it's just sometimes we do get to ask designers, but sometimes it's just you also have to consider other models who don't have anything to wear. So it's not like you just be like, hey, I have 4, can I get a 5th one? Just be considerate, but you still can do that.
For sure. and there is comp cards, but sometimes it's very random. Like sometimes you could just be modeling backstage and the designer's like, oh, I want you.
Yeah, that happened to me in
Yeah.
London.
Yeah?
So
Yeah. So I already had, I think, 4 people that I was walking for, and I think it was this lady that was like an assistant to the designer. She like came up to me. She's like, hey, like, can you fit for this designer? And I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to, because I think the max was like 4.
are we talking about the same designer?
Yeah, Tyra
So,
Shelley.
so that story is very interesting as well. Like, because the designer's like, "Oh, I want you, I choose you." When you're wearing clothes too for designers, you have to remember that you're showcasing their item, not yourself. Their clothes.
Can you explain what that means?
So what that means is they give you their piece of clothing that they made, handmade. So you have to really showcase it the way they want you to showcase it, and yeah, so that's what that means. You
Yeah.
can't really, you are modeling the clothes, you know what I mean? But the clothes are modeling you at the same time.
So
Yeah.
wear the clothes, like wear the clothes and show off the clothes. Don't make the clothes wear you. I don't know if you've ever heard that before. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of, for example, if you're wearing a gown, you need to know what to do with a gown. If you're wearing a swimsuit, you can't do certain things with a swimsuit. If you're wearing a tight dress, you can't do certain poses in a tight dress. If you have a dress with a split, you can't like stand up with your legs wide open to pose. You know what I mean? You have to be considerate that the camera is like taking pictures and stuff. That's what that means.
I also recommend for models to actually ask the designer, like, hey, how do you
Yeah.
want me to pose? How do you want me to walk?
And some
they
doesn't want you to
usually
stop as well at
Yeah.
the end. So that
And
as
if you
well.
have time backstage, because you know how each designer goes on, you have a little time backstage. If you can practice in whatever you're wearing, then you should. Especially if it's a gown.
especially
yeah.
down.
But each designer is very unique.
Very.
So you have to
very,
kind of
very.
get to know them
and know
before
their
you
designs.
come
Yeah.
on.
Like I remember for one outfit, they didn't want me to show my toes or hair. Like it was, every designer has their own different way that they want you to model their clothes. So you have to also be very flexible and have an open mind to things as well.
Yeah.
That you're comfortable with, of course. But like, for example, I tried on this dress for this amazing designer and it didn't fit me because I wasn't the right size. And I was like, okay, who? And I was like, Lani, Shannon. So it's like you have to look out for the models as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like things like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So moving to London, we had said outside that London was a completely different experience than New
100%.
York. What was
Yeah.
the London experience like? Did Miss Norma give you the call like, hey, we're getting the band back together, going to London?
Yeah, it was actually exactly like that.
Yeah. I mean, she said she was going to London. And a lot of us weren't even planning to like go at all.
I was like, I'm not going.
It was just last minute. It was too funny.
Yeah.
It was funny.
So I was like, guys, come on. You only live once. You know what I mean? If we have the opportunity, we just have to take it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was like a lot of back and forth. And it was like, are we really like doing this? And I was like, okay, let's just go.
Let's go to
And,
London
yeah.
now.
But it was a good experience overall.
When did you guys go to London?
It was September. Yeah, September.
This past September.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the weather wasn't as bad.
No.
No, it's good.
It was still
It was
cold.
cold. It
but
was
it wasn't
cold,
bad.
but not
as
super
cold as
cold.
New
Yeah.
York.
I had a
I believe that was
scarf
a few
on,
months ago now.
which was kind of embarrassing because,
Yeah.
you know,
Nobody else had any
no one
scarves
else
on.
had on a scarf, and I had on a scarf.
But that's
I had-
fashion.
Yeah, I had to take it off though. It was hot.
And like we mentioned outside, London and New York were completely different modeling shows.
Yeah.
When we went to London, that's when we were considered international models. And you see the difference like in the stage and the production. There was
Yeah.
Vogue, Harper Bazaar, Dean Magazine, a lot of news outlets too that I believe Lani was into. Like there
It
was,
was
a lot
huge.
of production going on. And that was my first time experiencing something like that.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm going to talk to you about how cool World Talk is. But what's even cooler is Smith Road Publishing, the producer and distributor of this show, as well as many other shows, such as the Link Up Podcast and So You 30 and Now What. Now, here is a clip from the most recent episode of the Link Up Podcast.
As soon as the PPM announced that they were moving to single member,
that's right.
think it was like not even day after.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little backstory. I don't think I've talked about this publicly, and this will be the first time. Well, one of the main reasons
Getting
why,
exclusive.
yeah, and there's a PPM link inside the house, so you understand. So
you beat his boy too. Oh, he got Marco Titan.
Listen,
Dahi
Marco's
boy,
good people,
bro.
okay? Marco's good people, and I'm about to get into that right now, right? So let me explain something. When the government, which I helped campaign to help get elected in 2013, we always said we're going to go into single member by the next election. And I was always like, yo, let's declare this thing right now because I want to campaign for a long time. From even when I was with Alan as his PA. And because I already had looked at the zoning and where I did well. And I already saw my numbers in Central. Mm-hmm. So the constituency of Central was the same ballot area. So I was like, okay, I know where I'm running. But then people were like, well, Kenneth, you're not sure if you're running there. We got to make sure that the leader goes where he's safe. I was like, what? What do you mean? So they were already starting to dictate to me that I couldn't run in Central. I was like, okay, we got a problem.
So they wanted to send Al in there?
They wanted to send Al in there.
Okay.
That's the truth. And I ain't trying to, listen, I gave all the respect to him just now, right?
Nah,
I ain't trying to undermine.
Yeah.
But that's where most of our beef happened, which is, yo, I'm from Central and I'm running in Central, whether you like it or not. And once that was declared by me, and I'm a straight shooter like that, it was like, okay.
You jumped the gun, you took it. Okay.
Well, you see, in a party system, you always protect your leader.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
And though I understand that, but I was like, I'm not popular anywhere else. This little black boy ain't gonna go down Georgetown South and get anywhere, or Georgetown North and get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, what you want me to do? Go run somewhere I'm gonna lose? I'm like, I'm from Central. I'm running in Central.
Yeah.
And that's where most of the fallout really, really happened that a lot of people don't know about.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Mili, I think all of us ended up on the news, but it was like a
Or on
different
magazine
language.
as well, yeah.
They like posted it up. And
Indonesian.
Like, we're on the news.
Indonesian.
Yeah?
Yeah, Indonesian news. Yeah. 'Cause
How
there was
did-
a lot of Indonesian clothing there.
Oh, okay.
A lot
Did
of
you
different cultures.
did you guys model for some Indonesian designers then? Or
I did, but it was very. So what ended up happening was I wasn't supposed to be modeling for them, but like we mentioned, a model didn't show up, and they needed a model that had kind of Chinese eyes. Yeah, so they're like, hey, you're tall, you match her same look. And then I ended up getting her clothes or her castings that she had. So things like that happen in modeling as well. If you don't show up, there's going to be another model for you to take.
just like that?
It's just
So you,
that.
going back to what you're saying, Shannon, you got to be ready.
Exactly.
Always
Always.
have to be ready.
But you guys modeled in New York, but I thought it was interesting that you guys say you're international models after London, but you guys did the New York fashion work, like New York fashion work.
But they always
Yeah,
say
but-
that okay, so they consider like London, Milan, Paris to be like the big shows, you know.
Yeah.
That is what really makes you like an international model. Yeah.
It's weird to think about it that way, but it's how
So
most
to
people
so people who don't model, they would consider us international after going to New York. But once you get a better understanding of the modeling world, you would see that going to London would definitely be the icing on the cake to consider us international, not only here locally, but also to other models overseas.
over
as
the
well.
world.
Yeah.
What does the modeling world look like for those who don't know? I mean, we just see like
It's not just pretty.
the news, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just see
Just pretty.
we just see what what we see in exactly like Vogue and whatnot. We just see the front of it.
It's
But what's it like being in there?
Yeah.
Some people are genuine, some people are not, but at least the people I've met, they've been pretty nice with us. But
Yeah.
modeling,
It's
especially in the back scenes, is very cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very chaotic. You have to have, like we've mentioned before, a very strong, sense of yourself. You have to be confident. So modeling isn't, I would not say it's all pretty.
What do you mean by cutthroat?
So
Lani could give some info on that.
so there's designers, some already choose their models, some don't, right? So I can go up to the designer right now and I can be like, hey, like, do you have anything for me to try on? And they'd be like, no, I don't want you.
And
Just like that.
They'll look
Yep,
at you
yep.
and be like, no.
Just
Or
like
they'll
that.
look
And
at
you
and be
can't
like,
you can't stand up there and cry. You go to the next designer.
Yeah, move on.
And that's just how it works.
They don't have manners? Hey,
Some
thank
of
you for
them do.
inquiring. But
Some of them are pretty okay. Some of them are pretty nice, and some of them are just not. There's some that say, "Oh no, like you're too fat, like you're not gonna fit, and I'm like, I'm fat.
I know one of them. It was in Cayman, actually.
Toxic,
I went
yeah.
over to him and I was like, hey, you know, Amber sent me over here to you. The man looked at me in my eyes and walked off. Like, I'm just like,
Who does he think
am
he
I
is?
invisible or something?
I did
Like-
not know about that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the
It's
weird
funny.
thing.
Yeah, it's like,
Crazy.
There's
gotta
a
have
To
thick
have-
skin.
yeah, you
yeah,
have to have
clearly,
thick
because
skin.
these people think that they invented the wheel and everyone should kiss their toes.
But
To
that's
look at
just how
someone
it
and just
works.
walk
to
off.
them, it's just like,
It's
okay,
business.
I don't see you in my clothes, so I'm
That's
sorry,
why
I don't want.
yeah, that's why I mentioned like with certain designers, they already have a vision
Mm.
of what they want to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they create their clothing a certain size. They are of a certain vision, a certain color hair. You know, curly, straight, dark skin. Like they already have that envision.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why the comp cards are important. You know what I mean? And that's why it's also important to never compare yourselves, because even though I'm a bit more on the thicker side, and if someone's skinnier,
Me as well, yeah.
the skinnier person might be
But
thick,
that's
but
the
at the end of the
thing,
day, I
like-
still might get something good, even with
Yeah.
my size. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of just don't compare yourself. You will get what you need to
You
get.
just have to have a strong,
And,
strong
yeah.
mind. Because even me, I think I'm considered scrawny in Caribbean. Like, you're scrawny, right? So I'm going to a designer. I'm like, I'm scrawny. I can fit in this, you know? And they're like, no.
I was shocked by it when she told me that. That's some
I
designers.
was like, are you kidding me? Like, have you seen me?
yeah.
Like, I'm considered fat, you know?
Yeah,
So
so-
it's just having a strong mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not taking anything personal. They're going to look at your body because obviously they need you to fit in their designs. And if just they don't vision that, then you just have to move on. Find someone that does.
Definitely, like your body image. Like, I feel like anybody could be a model. It's just you have to have that certain look, that certain confidence, and you can't let, like, if a designer doesn't like you, you can't take that personally. You
Yeah.
can't,
Yeah.
because
Be
it's
persistent.
just the world. It's just the
Yeah.
real modeling world. Like, if they say no, you can't be, you know.
But
can't
other
take
than
that
that,
personally.
all of us have unique qualities that the
Yeah,
designers
for
look
sure.
for.
Exactly.
So when we end up on stage, we shine regardless.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a good thing as well.
Let's steer this conversation locally now. Do you guys, since you guys are now international models, do you guys model for anybody locally? You want to, Leilani, you want to start with you?
Yeah. So I've modeled for Norma Ebank. And I recently did a show with Catalog 345. And they had a lot of local boutiques. So they had like Mars Candles, Retrograde, Blu-rays, and those kind of like
So
boutiques.
these are local stores.
Yeah, these are all local stores. So they were showcasing all of their local pieces. And yeah, like the public came together and yeah. And I've also worked with Izzy B as well in the past. She's a local designer as well. Really great. She kind of helped me tap into my model, posing and stuff like that. So she was really great.
Which reminds me, there is a difference between like photo shoot modeling and like runway modeling.
yeah.
You want to
100%.
you want to explain the difference?
I think with more on a photography side, you don't really know how it looks behind the camera. So it's kind of like getting the direction from the photographer. And with runway, I guess it's kind of more...
It's different
Strict.
with every stage. I guess you have to stop at certain points at the end when you reach like a certain point at the end of the stage. So they always have like a mark there. You can't really go any further because half of you would cut off, or you have to get that full body image. You can't really move too fast. So like when you get into a pose, hold that for like a good 3 seconds, because there's like many cameras. They need to get a good photo. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's not really that complex. It's just a matter of like timing and just knowing when to go, when to stop, when to move, not to move your arms too much, because it won't, like when you're walking, it's not gonna look good on the camera when you're like moving too much, and you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say having a strong walk-in runway is super important. And
Yeah.
for both, knowing your angles, knowing your poses is extremely important, especially when you're on that runway. The designer is looking for you to have that amazing image of you in their clothing. So you have to learn how to pose and walk at the same time when you're on the runway. And when you're having a photo shoot, you have to know how to pose as well. Like, you can't just stand there. You have to, almost have like a communication with the photographer, like in posing. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you done any ad campaigns for any local companies?
Yeah, so I've done one with Island Jewelers recently. So I modeled a few of their engagement rings. A lot of it was...
So you're more of a hand model then?
Well, I didn't know until I did that campaign. So it was mostly just to focus on the rings. Not like me in any way, but just the rings. I didn't think that hand modeling was that hard until I did that campaign.
Yeah?
Because you have to have like a certain like way you put your fingers, that you can't have your thumb sticking out. Like you gotta like kind of position it properly. And then sometimes the lighting too, you gotta make sure you have the right lighting. And then also practicing like ways and how you can model like the jewelry as well. So it took a lot of like connecting with their vision and the photographer. So that helped me with that campaign.
Very cool.
But it was a great opportunity. I had like I think it was my uncle. So he's like, I saw you. I think that was you on YouTube. And I was like, huh? He was like, yeah, it just interrupted my screen. And I'm like, I gotta see this. So then I didn't even know it was out yet. So like, he recorded it and sent it to me. And then he was like, oh my God. Like he was just freaking out. And I was like, Uncle, it's just my hands.
It's still a big deal.
Yeah, it is still. Yeah. But then everyone was super proud, and that made me feel good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting that support.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Shannon, what about you? I see they brought you to Jamaica for Renegade.
Yeah.
That's very cool. You want to tell us how that happened?
I believe it was through Chloe actually that got me to go with Renegade to Jamaica. They initially needed someone of a darker skin tone because of the color costumes that they had, and I guess I was the first person that popped up in her mind. And then Miss Danielle gave me a call and she was like, hey, we're going to Jamaica this weekend. I was like, this weekend? I was like, I got no money. She's like, no, it's all taken care of. All you need to do is just show up. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm ready. I was just packed. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
That's so cool.
I mean, of course, I was super excited. It was a new experience for me because I've never modeled in a, what do you call it?
Costume.
A costume like that before.
Carnival.
Carnival costume at that. Like, it was super intense. I was scared. A little bit I was comparing myself to the other models because it was just like, oh my God, just look at the body, you know what I mean? I'm just like, but when the pictures came out, I was like, Shannon, you did your thing, girl. I was like, yes. And it was super exciting. I'm not gonna lie. I loved it. It was, how do I put it? Like, we didn't get no sleep. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, once we landed, we slept for a little bit and then we woke up like 5, 6 in the morning just to get to where we needed to go. And we didn't leave like till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning every day. So we were in that studio working our asses off. So came out good. Hard work did pay off. So
that's awesome.
But it was a great experience. I loved it.
Are there any other local companies you've worked with?
I would say Kirk Freeport. They did just do their Fenty launch and they did ask me to do some content creation for them, which I did do. You'll see that on my Instagram. I also did some content creation for Coral Beach as well. That was a while ago. Other than that, I haven't done anything much lately.
Let's talk about the Kirk Freeport, because I believe all three of you did that.
Just them two.
Oh, just them two.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was...
Is that the Rihanna line?
Yeah, it
I
is.
love Rihanna.
It was kind of hard to know what to do because they asked us to do a few things and it was just like, how do I incorporate all they want me to do into this video? Like, I was so frustrated making the video, but then when it all came together, I was like, girl, you were smart.
Nice, you figured it out.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm glad they reached out to me, you know what I mean? I'm glad I was able to help promote the Fenty launch as well. And they had a great turnout. Everything sold out, so I guess it paid off as well.
For you, before we get to you, Mili, but for you, Shannon, what was your favorite part about those products?
I must say the blotting powder. So it's like, for example, I don't know if I'm sweating now. I can't tell. You guys can let me know. But so it's like a blotting powder. It's like you put it on whenever you're sweaty, and it turns your face like straight matte, like no more sweat. That's like my favorite. I have it in my car. I wish I had brought it.
I need that.
But that's my favorite product.
You use that like on a daily, or?
I just got it and I actually used it today. That's why I was asking if my face looked oily.
No,
but
it doesn't.
I actually used it. So yeah, thank you. I love it. That's my favorite all-time product.
All right.
And I bought some other stuff yesterday, so I'm gonna try it and let you guys know.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Millie? What was the Kirk Freeport Fenty launch for you like?
It was so nice. I'm so happy they reached out to local people as well. They tried to incorporate, the Cayman Islands, that's where it's launching, and the Caribbean launch all over the Caribbean countries. And my favorite product, I would say, is the blush, the lip gloss, and the mascara. I can't choose one out of those. Like, all of them were nice. So they reached out to do content creation. Whatever we wanted, I believe you had to do one reel or one post and some 2 stories. And they also gave us a free online masterclass from Rihanna's makeup artist.
Yeah?
So you
They
could
did.
attend that, for free as well. And she gave you tips and tricks on how to do your makeup. So that was really nice of them to do as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What about the mascara do you like?
I like how it elongates my lashes. Like, it makes it look like I'm wearing false lashes when I wear their mascara, which is, what you want when you're wearing mascara. So, yeah.
That's a good mascara. So you've also done some work with Bikini Babe. You want to tell us about that?
So Bikini Babe launched in COVID, I believe, like 2019, 2020. And it's a local swimwear company. And I've modeled for them about 3 times. So, yes, it's just about modeling the clothing and showcasing the bikinis as best way as you can. So, yeah.
What's your involvement with the brand?
Just modeling.
All
Just
right.
modeling with the brand, yeah.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Do you guys, where would you guys like to see modeling in Cayman go? Because I see some ad campaigns where they just get somebody from the States to just be a
Yeah.
face. But would you like to see like more of your peers be like the new face of,
Yeah.
for example, how you were the hand of Island Jewelers? Would you like to see like your friends be like the new face of
Yes.
any company, really?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Anything local would be nice. Why not sub-local? Why is it that local is not supporting local? You know what I mean? Like, why get someone from overseas, as you mentioned before?
have a
If
lot
they
of
see familiar faces, they'd be like, what? Like, for example, Mariah. She's a perfect example. She's everywhere.
Yeah,
and
she
it's
is.
like, she's wearing that dress. Oh, she's wearing that makeup. Oh, she's wearing that lipstick. It's just like, I know Mariah, so she's not gonna lie to me. If she says it's good, I'm gonna go get it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, as models, it would be nice to be used in stuff like that. You know what I mean? And people can reach out to us, obviously, and be like, hey, I saw you on this advertisement. I have some questions. If they don't feel comfortable reaching out to the company themselves, or, they don't have a phone number or email that they can reach out to. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. We're here to help. Local helping local. It would be nice.
There's definitely a lot of talent in Cayman, like a lot of creative talent. And I definitely want to see that grow within the years, and especially modeling. You don't really see that modeling's a big deal here in Cayman, which there's a lot of models in Cayman.
Yeah.
There's
Beautiful.
a lot.
Look how many
More than
people.
think.
Sorry to cut you off, but look how many people came to the fashion show.
Exactly.
Exactly. Wow.
Exactly. So, and I feel like Cayman, all these big corporations and companies, they need to look at their locals and say, hey, like, we have talent here. Like, what can we do to help support our young Caymanian people and things like that? And
And I feel like that's what Norma
I was just
has been
about to
trying
say
to
that.
do.
Yeah, that's what she's
So
trying
she's
to do.
been actually like bringing training and stuff like that, you know. So it's like taking advantage of that, you know, because we don't really have that. We don't have that different perspective from, especially Ava Page, you know.
He's great.
Really experienced international person. You can learn so much from him, you know. So just grasping his training and stuff like that is an honor to be able to even train with him. So kind of taking advantage of that. So she's been trying to get more exposure to us as Caymanian models. So I'm really grateful for her.
I'm actually really excited because she has some plans for us next year.
You want to?
Does. what that is.
We have to keep those things a secret until
Yeah. She's actually out in Moscow now, showing off her awesome design.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So
I believe it's Moscow Fashion Week or like an exhibition. Her clothes
Exhibition,
were
yeah.
She was one of
Nice.
the speakers, like on the stage, like with the other designers. I
It's
was
huge.
Like, wow.
It's huge for her. Yeah.
That's
Exciting.
so cool. Yeah, I think it's a new dawn in Cayman. I mean, fashion, as you all know, I've done a lot of fashion photography.
Yeah.
With Leilani, first person I ever got into Vogue was Leilani through their online photo Vogue
That
submission.
was so cool.
Yeah, and every submission since then has failed, but the only one that ever got in and is still the only one is with you. So you are a Vogue model.
Thanks to
I
you.
keep telling her, I keep telling her.
And Shannon, we got the cover of Celine magazine, which is a prominent fashion magazine out of Amsterdam. That was,
wow.
yeah, I would always get rejected from that magazine, but when I submitted the Shan photos,
Wow.
they actually hit me back. And they're like, yeah, listen, we like this submission. We're going to run it as the cover. And yeah, and actually, going back to that story, Shannon had messaged me, I want to say a couple months prior, but it was always like, oh, I can't, I'm busy, or nah. And then
That sounds like Shannon.
no, it was
And she
that
did
was me.
great.
She reached out to me, and I was the busy one. But then it just, I guess, like lightning struck me or something. It's like, no, she reached out, specifically. She was really nice about it. Let's do it. And then yeah, we made it
Came out
happen.
amazing, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
happy.
I loved,
I'm
like,
happy we
especially
did
the
it.
one you guys posted recently on the story of Shannon smiling.
Yeah,
That
with
was
the pink backdrop.
gorgeous. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
gorgeous. All of them were gorgeous.
Thank you.
I'm just swelling my head.
I remember.
But no, that was great. We did some photos at when you were running for Miss Cayman.
Yeah, it was like a little quick.
It was a little
thing,
quick.
yeah.
It was a good little thing because a bunch of there was that Evolution House and a bunch of
Yeah,
photographers
a
came.
lot. It was like Russell.
Yeah, me, RC. I want to say I think Eugene was I don't think that. No, yeah, he was
Yeah,
there.
Eugene was there. Yeah.
Eugene
There
was
like
there.
4 photographers in one place, but
Yeah.
we do need to schedule like
We
a
will.
photo shoot.
We definitely will. Now, having said that, where do you guys want to see like Cayman fashion or Cayman modeling go? Because right now it just seems like a hobby, a really fun hobby that we're all
A passion of us, yeah.
yeah, like a passion. But do you think there's any like career opportunities on island?
I think so. I feel like building my portfolio has helped me get like gigs.
Yeah.
Like people have reached out to me and say, hey, like I need you to like model this brand and actual paid gigs, so it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So they don't tell you like we're gonna pay you an exposure,
Okay,
and then
so
you go to the bank and say I
there
got
are
all this
some-
exposure
there
to
are
deposit.
So if it's a charity event, I don't mind doing it for free because
Right.
it's actually for a cause. And I kind of look at it as, taking advantage of the opportunity, seeing where it's going to land me. So that has helped me build my portfolio and actually get paid gigs. So people have seen me, doing a charity show and they're like, hey, like, can you model for this? It's paid. Can you do it? And then you're like, oh, great. I'm actually getting paid.
Nice.
So it's a good experience.
I think initially, I don't know if anyone remember, but when we did host the Cayman Islands Fashion Week, I believe in April, we had a mini event where all 3 of us, I think, had model at the event. What was the event name
Was it
again?
the swimsuit one?
For
No, the one-
School of Fashion at the
Yeah.
The
Was it
gala.
the Ritz?
Was it the
yeah, the
gala?
gala. Yes, the gala. So she did a ribbon cutting.
Which year was this?
this year.
Phil?
This was
For- no, this year.
There, yeah, the
No,
gala.
because the year previously was at the Ritz.
Yeah, so
Was this
that was
year?
the fashion show. This one this year,
The-
they had
okay.
like a little gala, dinner setting, award
Yeah.
show, mini fashion show. I don't know if you remember.
yes, yes,
This
yes.
was at the Marriott.
This was at the
This was at
Marriott.
the
Yes,
Marriott.
the Marriott. It wasn't the
Marriott.
Ritz.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
was the
correct.
Marriott.
So initially, Miss Norma did a ribbon cutting for what do you
Her
call it?
modeling agency.
Modeling agency. And I think her aim is to get more Caymanian models professionally trained.
Yeah.
And to be able to do gigs like, for example, what you did with Island Jewelers, or to be the face of Kirk's or help them promote their makeup. Whichever company need a model.
Yeah.
And to also be paid and respected as a model in Cayman, because obviously no one takes modeling serious here. So
Yeah.
to have someone who's there to support you and want to take you,
To the next level.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what Miss Norma is trying to do. She's trying to make modeling more
More
serious
exposure,
here in
yeah.
Cayman.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get where I'm going with this, but I think that's what her aim is next year coming to make.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that ribbon cutting. I think, I don't know. It's hard to say about a modeling agency, but definitely like a central hub where people can see like whose comp cards are up to date,
Yep.
Yeah.
things like that.
Yep.
What work have you guys done in the past? I think like a one-stop shop would really help
Exactly.
a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that want to get into modeling, but they just don't know where to start.
They don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for Cayman, I mean, maybe you guys remember growing up, it was like, oh, like be an accountant, be a lawyer, like
Yeah.
like
Literally, yeah.
the artistic endeavors were not really like encouraged. Like, yeah, it's a good hobby, and I feel like modeling and like fashion photography in Cayman, like they're hobbies, like they're serious hobbies, but hobbies nonetheless, not so much like a career. But it seems like, especially with the work you guys are doing with the brands that you're working with, being the hand of Island Jewelers, going to Jamaica, being the face of Bikini Babe, working with Kirk Freeport and all these things, I definitely see a tide changing.
They're slowly, but surely.
But the fact that you guys, and not only you guys, Iliane Powery, she came with you guys to London. Who came with you guys to New York?
Sidoni Barrett.
Wow.
Yes.
And
She was the
Alana
first
as well.
runner-up.
Alana met us
Alana
there.
Tucker, the young Caymanian teen model.
She got signed
She's
by Models
actually,
and
I was just about to say
She's
that she got
signed.
signed.
Yeah?
Just like that, yeah.
So she's now a professional.
She's a beautiful, tall
Is she-
young
Yeah,
lady,
really tall and beautiful.
Is she over
She's
there?
from here. She's from here.
She's Caymanian.
You don't remember Alana? She's like that really tall girl.
Oh.
She's like 16.
Yeah. But really tall. Yeah, I know
She's
exactly.
the face
For
of Cayman
3
Islands
years.
Fashion Week.
Right. Oh, I thought it was an agency out of Bahamas.
She got signed with them, but she's from the Cayman Islands.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I worked with her on this. Do you remember the Caymanis foot brand that
Yeah.
yeah,
The Crocs?
Yeah, the Crocs.
we
Yeah.
modeled, for them as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
They were actually at the swimsuit show we did at Holiday Inn.
I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a fashion shoot with them, but she brought Alana with her, so it was cool to work with. She's got a serious walk.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it
She
was.
does.
real fierce.
She's so young.
She
but
gets
has
trained,
so much
you know.
Experience. Yeah, she's trained.
She gets
professionally,
trained a lot.
I believe
Yeah?
by a Miss Universe Jamaica, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was really like helping us in New York though.
Yeah?
Like I
She does.
mentioned,
She was
yeah.
giving us tips and stuff like that, which we're really
And
appreciative
she's
of.
younger than us, but
I
she's
know,
so
right?
experienced in the model world.
But she's
Yeah?
so mature.
Yeah, she really is.
What,
for her age.
well, yeah. What I gotta ask, what tips was she giving you guys?
How to
Walking.
pose.
'Cause she's
Pose
not-
at the end.
Yeah.
She's not an adult yet, but you guys, you're.
Yeah.
But she's more experienced. You see, she's been in this whole
Since
Cayman Islands
14,
Fashion Week
13?
thing way before we even
us.
got involved.
Yeah.
So
Like
you're
on an
getting tips from
international
her.
basis. Yeah.
And as I said, remember Amber, I mentioned the model coordinator of the production team that we travel with. She's also close to Amber, so like they talk and they get like tips and stuff. And Amber tell her the do's and don'ts. So Amber's like a really, really great model as well. So
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, what's next? Millie, you want to start with you?
Well, there's a lot coming up next. Some things I can't say, but I don't know if I could say what's next. But there's a lot of things next, and I'm hoping, especially with the new year, like the holidays coming up, we're coming into 2025. We're gonna have Cayman Install Fashion Week this April, April 2025. So I'm super excited for that, and of course, just grow my portfolio, see where life takes me as a model. That's my passion. So yeah.
It's very exciting. So I guess what the kids say, like, watch the space.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got coming up for next year. Very cool.
You'll see something very soon, yes.
Shannon, what about you?
that's a good question, Phil. I'm not sure what's next, but I am excited to see. I do believe we have Paris and Milan next. So I'm super stoked
Yep.
to go there, especially to see the tourism attractions.
But not only that, you get to be a tourist, but you also get to take photos of you all glammed up with.
Hello,
Yep, in the middle of
course.
Paris.
Yes, especially Paris. Other than that, as Millie said, I'll just keep building on to my portfolio, keep taking photographs. If anyone asks me to do content for them, I'll keep doing that as well. Other than that, I'm just really waiting to go to Milan and Paris.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Leilani?
I think it's the same thing as well. If any opportunity comes about, then I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah.
Quick thing, where can we find more information about you guys? Because maybe someone listening will be like, hey, I want to hit this person up for whatever.
Let's ask questions.
On Instagram.
Instagram.
That's
yeah.
my name.
Instagram
It's
handles.
Shannon.Crewe. You can always reach out. I'm friendly. I won't bite, guys.
My Instagram is Lanita, so LANIITAA, or just Leilani. My name is pretty complex. A lot of people misspell it, so I just made a username that just says Lanita. Can't go wrong with that one. So yeah.
And mine is my name, so it's going to be MILIALMAG.
That's very cool. Very cool. Any last words before we wrap this up?
I just want to say thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Hey, no
thank you
problem.
for making this whole process really smooth.
Yeah.
It's been a good experience.
And I'm thankful you guys came too, because fashion in Cayman, to all our points, there is a lot of talent here. You know,
Yeah, a
I've
lot.
seen it. We've all seen it.
Yeah.
But it's just finding, I guess, avenues where to take this talent. And I'm glad that Miss Norma has found you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Norma's definitely like a pioneer.
Saw
She
something
is,
in
she
me,
is,
and
she is.
I sent her videos of my walk of myself, and she was the one that saw something in me, and she was like, "Yes, you could do modeling. Let's go to New York."
How did that impact your like self-esteem? Were you like, whoa, like this person believes in me?
That almost turned it did. It turned my dreams into reality, because all my life modeling was never in the books for me. I always thought, oh, I'm too thick for modeling. That's just always what I thought in my head, but it's actually became my dream. So
She made your dreams come true.
exactly, yeah.
That's
And she
And with
keeps
hard
doing
work
it.
as well, and
Yeah.
believing in yourself, because if I didn't believe in myself, I wouldn't have reached out, and I wouldn't have shown her my walk or my photo shoots or things like that. So it's all in God's timing, and everything's supposed to happen the way it does. Yeah.
Nice. Actually, one thing I wanted to say about the fashion world, it seems even how everything is like so like rushed. Like even for you guys for these trips, it's like, hey, we're going like in a couple days. You down? It's not like, oh, we're gonna give you adequate time.
No, we never get time.
No.
But I feel like it's so much funner when it's just
Yeah.
last minute. I don't know. It's just
Fun or
something
but not
about
for
the
our bank account.
Yeah, not for a bank account, but just the adventure.
Our workplaces, but we are lucky enough to have workplaces that understand
Yeah,
that
exactly.
modeling is our passion. Like I believe everyone in our workplaces know that modeling is our passion.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
There's even people in the hallway that stopped me. I was like, "Oh, I saw you in the newspaper."
Yeah, me too. I was just like, oh, let me see the photos. Let me see the photos. It's just like,
I think that's why your workplaces are so like are supporters of your habits, because it's not just like you just doing this for yourself. Like, no, you're putting Cayman fashion
Exactly.
on the map. You know,
Happy they understand
Exactly.
that.
we're gonna see you in the newspaper. I think it was Caymanian Times had a lot of these photos of you
Cayman
guys. And
Compass as well.
yes, Cayman Compass as well. So because you guys are going out there getting the support, we're seeing it
And
locally.
we appreciate that a lot too.
a
You
lot.
know,
Trust
it
me.
does.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, it does help us.
It does, yeah.
I gotta ask, how does it help?
Okay, so when people are just like words of encouragement, I guess. So when people see you in the newspaper and they're like, "Hey, good luck," like, I saw you in the newspaper, and then it makes you feel a little more better. It feels like you're actually doing something,
Making
like,
an impact, yeah.
Yeah. I think you guys are. I think you guys are definitely role models for the next generation. Yeah, because they can see, they know you. I mean, Cayman, to your point, is it's a small community,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
But so you're not really too far away. But to see you, I mean, Cayman has that stigma, like, yeah, we're Cayman, we're small. But to see you guys, like, go New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, who knows what next year Fashion Weeks, you might be in Moscow Fashion Week. You never know, right? But it's like little old Cayman in the big world.
Yeah.
Look at
I'm
us.
extremely proud of us for that.
Extremely.
Yeah, extremely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the time, and I want to thank you all for taking the time and being with me here today.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Thank you.
We had an amazing time.
Good? All right, cool.
That was it?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to have a little pause, and then we do it.